What advice would you give someone who's looking to start a niche business?
Just do it. It's funny with Trails Off Road, all the people that I've talked to have, become writers for us, they've all said, I had a similar idea. I just never did anything. So I would always say, just get into it, start doing it, try to fail quick, try to succeed quick, fail quicker than succeeding quicker, but definitely just do it. The one mistake I made was getting zero financial backing up until 2021 was when my first financial backing came in. So I was in business for a long time, but get a good pitch deck. You see if you like your idea, just do it, live in your passions, and it all works out.
There will be some really challenging and difficult times. They're the kind of difficult times where if you quit, your mom would say, oh, well, I'm glad you stopped doing that. That looked like it was really hard for you. And your buddies would all say, let's go get a beer. You should have quit. That was a terrible thing that was going on. That was too hard to overcome. We don't blame you. When you get to those moments and you don't quit, you separate yourself from about probably 85, 90% of all the other entrepreneurs. And I've had those moments where it's like, this does not work worth it. Crap. Just put my head down and just keep going. And as soon as you make that decision to put your head down and keep going, it gets easier. You get clarity because you're no longer wondering whether you're doing the right thing. You're just going to do it. I'm just going to do it. I would say don't quit when it's okay to quit is really separates long-term success from the short term.
Everybody looks at what somebody has, but nobody looks at what they did to get there, because everything that I have comes from failure and suffering and struggle and mostly pain that brought me here. Like if you don't think that like I failed and I have lost businesses and I have been in debt and I have like been up against the ropes and I have lost title fights, and I have gotten in trouble in my military career, there's not a single area that you would not, instead of like the Instagram curated editorialized pictures that you see, you actually got to see the real life. The work is the thing that you're going to have to subscribe to. The discipline is the thing that you're going to have to subscribe to. The failure is the thing that you're going to have to subscribe to. I'm not saying you have to like rush to failure, but there's a purpose to pain. Pain is this catalyst of change. If you know what you want to do and you know what your purpose is, find ways to go and suffer and struggle your way through it. And as long as you're focusing on that purpose, all of those struggles and all of that pain will transform who you are in a beneficial way.
I mentioned that, okay, I graduated valedictorian of Hooker High, right? I thought I knew everything. And then in college, I graduated summa cum laude and then master's. And I had all those answers. But it wasn't until I failed and learned from failure that I realized what leadership is. And leadership is about being transparent. Leadership's about saying, I don't know. I could use your help. And learning to ask for help as a leader is hard. But if you do it, then you get surrounded with a good team.
We welcome you. There's not enough of us, really. Me and everybody that I've talked to, and I'm assuming you too, we're all looking for more help. Like people that are willing to put in the hours and people that are passionate.
Ultimately, I think that a leader also has to be bold, that they have to have courage and they have to be confident in order to make the hard decisions that ultimately they're there to make. And at the end of the day, I believe you have to follow your instincts. You should listen to all of the guidance, all of the advice that you can receive from as many people as you can. But ultimately, you got to make tough calls. Just understanding that many people will approach challenges from the perspective of the problem rather than the perspective of the opportunity that lies on the far side of that problem. You just have to maintain a balance there. I always try to keep focused on where's the opportunity. Yes, I'm going to be told how hard this can be. Understand that. Got to take that into account. But what's the opportunity beyond that? Just being wary of, being convinced that something may be too hard to do is something that I try to keep mindful of, because at the end of the day, I'm here to make hard decisions. I'm here to achieve our vision, and that's going to be hard work. It's not going to be easy. And some of those calls are going to be tough calls that ultimately this organization is looking at me to make. And I just have to be very wary of, being afraid, not being confident in our decisions.
It's saying yes to the uncomfortable things. And that has been really a part. And that, I think that's like that cold calling part is like, I got used to that muscle of, if I'm comfortable, I'm not doing it right. Honestly, like as a business owner, I think if you're just like, fat and happy, you're not doing it right. Like I have to be. And sometimes I'm like, oh, I'm really comfortable right now. Well, I probably need to like do something, a lobster grows under pressure. I think about that often. So whether or not like the environment, like COVID, right, is putting me under pressure, I then like step into these positions that put me under pressure that then force my growth. So if I'm uncomfortable, I know I'm like moving forward.